load. She's a married student, which adds to things. She lives a little ways away, so it's been a little tougher training for her, but we're going to see her eventually as they get started here in the women's mile. And this is not the fastest heat that we're going to be seeing right now, but we will talk a little bit about the contestants in this one. But Claudia O'Malley is somebody that you're quite familiar with. She's from northern Michigan, up around the Cadillac area, and she's been outstanding so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, Claudia's been great really her whole career. Ever since she stepped on Grand Valley's campus, she's, impressed as a runner. So, and really, again, really seems to step up to the plate for these big meets. She just really shows up every time, whether it's conference championships, regionals, national championships. This is the stage where we really see her put out these great performances. And, Allie, yeah, she's definitely, she's got a lot on her plate right now. She still came in with a 450, so we know she's capable of running fast. It's funny to look back and think, like, gosh, 450, we know she can run a little faster. That's still a really fast time. Any school in the country would be glad to have a couple 450 girls. So they're very fortunate to have her. But yeah, I'm sure she'd love to go a little bit faster. And fortunately, she's going to be in a really fast race with some other very talented runners that are, well under 5 minutes as well.
We see the leader in this heat, Ella Barrio from Davenport, who has run 5:15.61, her qualifying time. To contrast that with what we will see in the next heat, Ludge at 4:50. Claudia O'Malley, who is also in that, has gone just under 4:45 this year. So you can tell there's a little bit of a difference in terms of times between the ones that are running now, the ones that will run next. But it will be, as you said, a very fast heat coming up after this one is concluded. But everybody could count here, and this is basically you're going by time now, not necessarily position. That's important for the runners in this particular heat.
Correct, yeah. I mean, I think their hope is maybe they can scratch out that 7th or 8th place. If a couple girls in that second heat maybe have a bad day and, score some points for their team. As far as the national list, I mean, just based on where we're at right now in the race, we're 2.5 in. I don't see that the pace is going to get anyone under that. I don't think they're going to get under the 5-minute mark, to be honest. And right now it's probably going to take right around 4:49, 4:50 to get into the national meet. Now, this is one of those races. At nationals, most of your milers are competing in several other events there. So I would assume that they're probably going to take 20, maybe even as many as 22 athletes in the mile, and they'll run several heats to sort out that final at nationals, so they can go. They're able to go a little bit deeper here.
Yeah, when we talk about that, the potential to go to the national meet, and what you're alluding to, I think, Ted, is the fact that when you've got these women doubling up in other events, their coaches and they will determine where they're most likely to score at the national meet. So you have some people possibly qualify but drop and not run when they get to the nationals, or will it just be everybody that qualifies is going to take a shot at it nevertheless?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because you've got you have a 2-day meet. I believe they still have to qualify, run a qualifier in the mile at nationals. So I could be wrong. It's possible they changed that, but for several years they've had to run actually a prelim in the mile, and then come back and run a final. So that dictates a lot, And then you've got the distance medley relay in there, and there's a lot of variables that are going to go into whether they run or not in any of these distance races.
Well, here is the racer from Davenport who is out right now. This is Ella Barrio, who we had a chance to chat with yesterday. She is got a time right now of 5:15.61, and she's going to be interesting to see how she does. She obviously on paper looks to be the class of this particular heat, and she'd like to improve her time as much as possible, but she's been out there kind of running by herself, so she comes around here on her final lap. We'll see what she can do and how much she can carve off. She would like to get somewhere in the low 5s. We're going to see Ella coming around here for the final time.
Yeah, it looks like she picked it up quite a bit here, and she looks, yeah, she's definitely shifting gears coming into the home stretch, and you know, if she's right around that 5:11 mark, that puts her, you know, in a position to, you know, possibly pick up a couple points here.
Yep, she's going to be right in that 5:12 to 5:16 range, it looks like. Here she comes across the line right now, and right at 5:15, so really consistent work done by her. She came into this race with a time of 5:15.61, and she went 5:15.51. She improved by a tenth, and we've talked about it in the past, how these runners generally, barring any injury,